Hello and welcome to Let's Play Crusader Kings 2 with me, Grey Hunter. Now this is a new Let's Play series that I'll be doing, and the reason I'm doing Crusader Kings 2 is because I love this game. This game is brilliant. Crusader Kings 1 was awesome as well, but this is just a brilliant revamp of the concept in the series. And I love it because it is a family simulator, essentially. Because you do not play as a country, you don't, well, I suppose if you're a king you play as a country, but you don't play as the country, you play as your family, and once your family line dies out, game over. So the way we'll be playing this is we will be using the ruler designer. So first I'll show you which province we'll be using. We'll be playing Mortain. Sorry about that, I had a bit of a cough. We'll be playing Mortain, but we'll be using the ruler designer. So once our family line dies out, that's it. That's game over. So if our first guy with the ruler designer fails to actually have any children, this is going to be a very, very short Let's Play. But we'll be playing in Normandy. So we'll be under the rule, nominally, of King Philippe Capet of France, but we swear fealty to Duke William the Bastard. Now, Duke William the Bastard, in the beginning scenario of Stamford Bridge, is about to launch his invasion across the English Channel to England against King Harold. And King Harald Hardrada, the Norwegian king, is also fighting. So you've got a three-way combat happening over on English soil. And we want William to win, obviously, because if William wins, Normandy becomes part of England, and there will be a very special set of rules for us, which will be awesome, which is why I'm choosing to play as these guys, because I find that they're one of the most interesting potential players to play as. So we will be using the ruler designer, so let's get into that. And we will stay Norman. We'll have a hairstyle. We do. The ruler design is quite fun because you can create your guy as essentially anyone. We like that. Let's go with a more... Ooh, that's nice. We need a better beard. That one? No. No. Okay, that one kind of looks the best out of all of them. Is there a face thing that we can choose? Let's go with that. Give him a more regal nose. Ears don't really matter so much. Yeah, we'll keep his eye color like that. Middle-aged sounds good to me. There we go. He looks like a just lord. A lord who will do what you want him to do, because it is right. And we can choose a coat of arms. Excellent. Oh, also, you can play as a woman if you want to, but it makes for much harder gameplay at the beginning. It's not as interesting, because everyone hates you. Not so fun. So let's go with that shield. Looks good to me. No emblem. We'll go with green, I think. Green looks nice. Green on blue, maybe? No. Green on that. That looks okay. Yeah, I like that. And we can choose a different layout. No. Party per pale, no. No, no. No, that's not what there we go. That's what we're talking about. Okay, so we can have a blank field. No, no. Let's just go back to the one we had at the beginning. Actually, yeah, there we go. That looks good. And we'll go with black. No. Something smoother. Something it's a bit... Ah, there we go. Perfect. Okay, and next. So we can choose a dynasty, or we can randomize it. So let's have a look and see what that throws at us. Ooh, Dahakor, I like that. And we will be... No. If there's nothing good here, I'll just name us William. Tancred, Gilbert, no. Drogo. Khal Drogo. Nah, let's just go with William. We'll be William Dahakor. William. We can choose our educational trait. And we're going to put that as Midas Touched, because stewardship becomes very, very important later on. We won't have any sons, we won't have any daughters. We'll be unmarried, because that leaves us more options, and we can choose some traits. So let's see. A good one to pick is Wounded, because although it reduces your health and your martial skill, a lot of the time your guy will recover from it, so that'll be our first choice. We'll be a legitimized bastard like William, as in William the Conqueror. They can inherit, but it reduces their diplomatic ability. That's not too important for us. We could be excommunicated, but that's not very handy at the beginning. We could be a kinslayer if we wanted to, but then our family would hate us. Though granted, our dynasty consists of exactly one person when we start, and that one person is us. We could be homosexual if we wanted to, but there's no point, because if we do that, we're less likely to have children. So in that, we are going to go with being a hedonist, which actually reduces how old you are. That's what green means. Green means it reduces the years you have. So we can go to a maximum of 50, but right now we're age 19, and if we pick hedonist, we lose piety from the church, but we gain more fertility. So that'll go up to 85%, and we will be reduced in age, so we'll have more points to spend here. Occasionally you will get a character that has celibate, and that incurs a fertility negative of -1,000. So if you ever get a celibate character, you better hope that they had kids before they got that. So let's go with hedonist. And we will be picking another one, Lustful, which again, minuses how many years you have. You can't go lower than 16 though, but this just gets us extra points. So again, we'll be losing out on piety, but we'll be having a higher chance of getting kids, so Lustful goes into. I won't be min-maxing this guy, although I could, but I do want him to have a nice all-round set of skills, because we are a single-person dynasty, so it will be a bit more difficult to get ourselves started. Now, we want to increase all of these. Diplomacy isn't so bad, because if we marry a wife with good ability in diplomacy, you get half of your wife's stats added to your own, plus those of your council. So we'll get into that more later, but you can essentially compensate for weak areas in yourself by marrying well and having good counselors. So, let's see. Stewardship, we've already got a 14, so we won't worry about that too much. We do want things that increase everything, so Diligent is fairly easy to get, but we want to make sure we have it, so we'll go with Diligent, and we'll also pick Quick. So as you can see, we've picked two options that give us extra ability, but it's already pumped us up to 40, so we have to bring that down again. We want to ideally be around 30 to 35. So we'll choose Greedy, which isn't as bad as it sounds. It only really affects characters who are not greedy. So if we remove it, if a character is charitable and you yourself are greedy, they won't like you. But you get a 10% tax modifier, which is very important at the beginning of the game. So -1 year off that, and we gain a bit of extra ability. What else do we want? Patient, because it increases intrigue, diplomacy, stewardship, and learning, and makes you better at fighting when you are defending, which most of the time in the early game you will be. If you get attacked, it's very important that you be able to defend yourself. So we'll slip Patient in there as well, and now we're 38. We could go with Deceitful, which hammers our diplomacy even further, but it gains us extra ability in our intrigue, so we might do that. What else can we do? We can be content. Content is good, because it means that your liege won't dislike you very much. He'll love you because you won't be attempting to get his crown, or his circlet, whatever it is that he happens to have if he's a king, or whatnot. So we'll go with content, and there we go, now we're 22. It reduces some of our ability, so it makes us less good at being a spy or something like that, but that's fine, we can live with that. And we'll go with cynical as well, because all that does is reduce piety. We don't need to worry about piety, unless we get excommunicated, but we can always buy indulgence from the church, so we can fix that up later. You could go with the pilgrim trait, and that would gain you extra piety and offset what you lost, but we don't need to worry about it so much. And as you can see, obviously there's a lot of Muslim traits down here as well, for being descended from Muhammad, or having read the Quran, etc, etc. But there's no point taking any of those because we're not Muslim. You can play as them though, which is nice. And eventually you'll be able to play as a pagan as well if you want to. So what we've got now is a fairly good beginning start line. So we want to increase some of that. Learning is important. It's not fantastically so, because you can get more of it from having a good court chaplain. Intrigue is very important, so if we can find something that adds intrigue without reducing anything, we could go with Mystic or Impaler. Impaler could be good. We don't need to put anything more into Stewardship. Stewardship is pretty much maxed out for us. We don't need to worry about it, because as we go through, we can mentor our children and we can mentor our courtiers' children as well, so we'll be able to affect essentially everybody around us. We could go with Strong. Strong would be excellent, because it's a very hard trait to get, but it adds 40 years onto your character, so we can't do that. Let's see. Temperate could be good, but increases stewardship. We don't need to worry about that too much. Envious, no. Kind, no. Proud is a good one. Proud increases how much prestige you get, and for an early game count or duke, etc., it's very important to increase that as much as you can. We'll also go with being honest, and we can compensate for this by putting points into there, like that. So we're going to be a very average character to begin with. We could be shy, not really worth it. We don't want to be craven. Brave, not really important at this point. Arbitrary, no. Just, no. Paranoid, no. Trusting, no. Okay, so we've got a fair few traits. Actually, we might take... No, we won't take any more traits. We're not going to min-max. But we will put 2 points into diplomacy, 2 points into martial, 2 points into intrigue, 3 points into intrigue. That's how good I am at deciding. And we'll leave it at that. Cool. We could increase these if we wanted to, but we don't really have to. Hopefully we won't die from our wound. If we do, that could be unfortunate. Could be a very, very quick game over. Alright, so finished. There we go. We are now William de Harcourt, Count William of Mortain. And begin! Alrighty, so adapting history. Cool. First thing we have to do, pick an ambition. We don't really have to do it, but it's nice if we do. So you'll notice that our heir isn't of our dynasty. The reason for that is because you keep the previous people who were the original rulers. So her father is still here, Robert, and he doesn't like us, you'll notice, straight away. But he doesn't not like us because of us taking his county. He doesn't even have a claim on it, you'll notice. He just doesn't like us because of our traits. But that's fine, we don't have to have him like us. So Count William, you need to choose an ambition. Your ambition is to get married. This is a nice easy one because you can get a +10 piety right off the bat, and we won't be getting very much piety, as you can see, because we're content, but we're all those other things. So we've made our ambition to get married, and now we have to find a suitable bride. So let's see, we'll find somebody with high stewardship first. We want somebody good. Ideally, we want somebody who complements all the things that we lack, so we gain half of all their skills. So we want to find somebody like Beatrice, who's got a nice in-the-middle sort of skill set. We don't really need to worry about Marshall too much. We've got a 12 on our own. So we might go for people with better stats in everything else. But we want someone young. You'll notice that Jemina, for example, is not a bad match. She's got fairly good stats, but she's 32. So that reduces how long it'll be that she has to have kids. As in normal life, the women in this game run out of steam for having kids around 39 to 45. So we'll have to pick somebody who's fairly young, but has a good baseline. So let's go with somebody who's got some intrigue, I think. So we'll filter by age, and you'll notice that we get all these people that we could be betrothed to for something like 10 years if we wanted to. That will come in handy when you have kids. At this point, it's not very good. So let's go to 16. There we go. 16 is when they all come of age, so we'll start from there. She's not very good. She's got very low stewardship. High stewardship, I guess, isn't so important at the beginning because you will only have the one province. But I like to have a fair amount of stewardship because it lets you do better for your tax income, and if you have a high stewardship, you can set your ambition to be your liege's steward, which adds to your stewardship again, so it's a very good skill set to have. Now Inga's promising. She doesn't have any diplomacy, but she's got a good skill set and everything else. She's a thrifty clerk, she's also lustful, so we'll probably end up having lots of kids. But she's paranoid, zealous, and just. She's not a bad match though. We'll definitely keep her in mind. She's Swedish, but she'll get us an alliance with Patrician Knut. I'm assuming he's from the Gotland Republic. Okay. He could be good. It gets you an alliance if you've got this little blue flag here. And that means if you get into a fight, you can call your enemies... you can call your allies, sorry. You can call your allies into battle with you, and occasionally it will flip the balance. Ooh, she's better. Anna. But is she... yeah, she's chaste. She's less likely to have children. But... she's got a nice skill set there. Beatrice. She's got a hair lip. They can pass these traits on. She's lustful as well. Damn. That's troubling. She has a diplomacy skill. She's a poor diplomat, but she's got some skill in it. So you've got to make an informed decision when you begin the game, because you need to sort of concentrate on your genetic line, because you will pass these traits on, and you don't really have any control. I think what we're going to do though is we're going to go with Inga, because she's lustful. She lacks any diplomacy, but she's good at everything else. Well, fairly good at everything else anyway. Zealous. That increases her piety. Who does this get us an alliance with? A count. Actually, you know what? No, we're going to go with her. Because she already likes us, and he is the steward of Flanders. Flanders is technically part of France at this point. So we'll gain 1 prestige from marrying into another house, and none for marrying a courtier. Okay, there we go. Done. Good. Yes, you do agonize over these decisions a little bit. The council is easier. Much, much easier. Because generally you'll get a very bad lot at the beginning. But we've got an alright council. We're going to send you to fabricate claims on Everu. Our marshal will begin researching military technology. Unless there's somebody better? No. You can't be your own marshal as well. You cannot hold one of these council positions. Your wife can, but the only one she can hold herself is the spy master. So you've got to get a wife who can complement you if you've got no real choices for the spy master. But Henry is alright. He's okay. We're going to set our steward to collecting taxes in Mortain, because what we want to happen is for him to collect a special tithe. The quicker we can raise money, the better. We already start with 41 gold, but it would be handy if we could get that little extra boost. The spy master will study technology in Rouen. I think that's how you say it. Because Duke William has a better technological starting base than we do. And you will improve religious relations with yourself. Yes, he can do that. He's also the only person we can choose, because he's the only bishop that we currently have. That's okay, we can deal with that. So we sent Galfrid, Jacques, Henry, Blaise, and Alphonse to go do their stuff. Okay. And we're currently in a war with King Harold. It's the Norman Conquest, as you can see, and the battle is for the Kingdom of England. We can help him, if we want to. Him meaning King William. We won't need to at the moment. Now, a quick look at our laws. What we've got is agnatic, cognatic, primogeniture. Primogeniture. What that is the oldest child of the ruler inherits everything. And because we're agnatic, cognatic, the female children can inherit, hence why Emma de Confil is the first in line. And her brothers or uncles are next in line. So this is very good for us. It means the first child will always inherit, hence why I wasn't too worried about picking something like hedonist and lustful, which means that we'll just be pumping out the children. That's fine, that's okay, that doesn't matter. So what we want to do is ideally always have agnatic, cognatic, something. Now we fall under the crown laws of France, and this is a special thing that I was talking about earlier. We fall under the crown laws of France. If William wins, he becomes King of England. So English crown law applies to everything on English soil. We still count as de jure part of France, so only French crown laws apply to us. That means should he manage to get medium crown authority or something like that over here, or free investiture, etc., it won't affect us. At least not for 100 years. After 100 years, we technically become part of the Kingdom of England, and then their crown laws affect us. But it also means that anything William doesn't like, he can't really do anything about while we're over here. So we can declare war on, say, Count Richard, and if crown law would prevent us from doing so in England, it won't in France. So that will be very important later. For now, we need to set technological research. Let's go with castle infrastructure. And military organization, I think. Yep, let's go with military organization. And legalism. Legalism is important because it increases your domain size. That's essentially what this is. It's demens, I think, in the Old English, but just substitute for domain. So we've set our realm focuses for technology. And we don't have to do anything military. We can't even raise a retinue at this point. And we don't have any plots. We can demand the duchy from William eventually, but we don't want to do that either. We could start a faction, but we don't really need to. I thought it was already primogenitor. Maybe we are and the duchy isn't. No, the duchy is Gavelkind. Or Gavelkind. That means that titles are split between the children, so whoever the eldest child of Duke William is inherits the Duchy of Normandy and the County of Maine here, but then his other children, Richard will inherit a barony, so will William and Cecilia, Constance, Adele and Agathe won't inherit anything because they're female, or because he's run out of titles. Okay, I think we can start the clock. So I'll just crank it up to 3 for now, because not really all that much will happen. So Duke William has... Right, Beatrice arrived, and Duke William has founded the elective succession in France faction. You can join these. Well, you can't join the French ones, but you can start one in the faction of Normandy. You can lead 2, so we can argue for primogenitor succession in the duchy, meaning the duchy's titles will all fall to Count Robert, but we want them to be split, because hopefully we'll have the opportunity to try and take over the duchy. So Count William and Beatrice got married. We can collect a royal aid duty to pay for the ceremonies, which gains us 1 gold, or we can gain 50 prestige. We're going to take the prestige option, because that's much more important. It affects your score, and it affects how much people respect you. So people respect wealth is the option we'll choose. Done. To the great Count William, peace be with you, I accept the suggestion that they get married. Swell. And we fulfilled the ambition to get married. Awesome. So next, what we'll do is we'll set... Ah, right, yes, after time starts, the Duke is our new heir. But we'll set our ambition to becoming the steward of Normandy. Yep. Done. Fulfill the ambition to get married. Excellent. William will probably ask us. Duke William the Bastard has become the Keeper of the Swans. That's fine. Speaking of titles like that, we'll just pause time for a second there. We can bestow the High Almoner title to our wife. It doesn't really do anything, it just makes her like us more. So, done. You are now High Almoner. Cool. So she'll like us more. You'll see that her opinion of us has increased. Our vassals will not like us, for the most part, because we have reigned for a very short time. They have traits that are opposed to us, and in some cases, like this one, it'll be very, very bad, because the bishops pay taxes to you or the Pope, dependent on how much they like you. So he likes the Pope a lot more than he likes us, so we'll need to work on that. And the taxes get deducted the more this guy doesn't like us. So what we're going to do first... William's become Marshal, Duke Robert wants the Kingdom of France. So what we're going to do first is we're going to hand out a few titles. So we're going to make this guy the Cupbearer. That'll increase how much he likes us, and he should give us a bit of money now. Even if it's only a little bit. Yeah, he gives us a little bit, because he has a positive opinion of us. Richard does not pay us anything, because we have no feudal taxation, so we're going to have to change that. Pretty sure that we're the only one who gets a vote. Yep, done. So now he will pay us a bit of money. He won't like it though. So what we're going to do is hand out a title to him as well. We'll make him Master of the Hunt, and we'll make Bishop Henry... Actually, we might not. Yeah, we'll save that title for later if we need it. But later on, you won't want to give out those titles willy-nilly. You will want to hang on to them so you can give them to disruptive vassals. So let's just put time on again.